I'm here with my pal, Stacy Kelley. She is the AE. Tell us all the boards that you're AE of. Association executive of a bunch of local boards in the state.
That are managed out of NHAR.
Yes.
Sunapee Region Board, Upper Valley Board, Monadnock Board, and North Country Board.
Okay, great. So coming up in April, it's Fair Housing Month, which
Yes.
is to commemorate, I believe it was 1968, the Fair Housing Act, which protects buyers and sellers against housing discrimination. So what we try to do in April and throughout the year, but in April specifically, we highlight educating our members around fair housing. Now, NAR has instituted a new requirement around fair housing, and that is what, Stacy? What do our members need to know about the requirement around fair housing?
So existing members must take a fair housing class component every 3 years. The cycle begins 2025, ends December 31st, 2027. It follows along with the code of ethics that is required.
Okay, so right now, an existing member, so we are going to talk
Yeah.
about two different categories because
Yeah.
there's existing members and then there's new members. And existing members, I believe, right at this moment, have until December 31st of 27. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so that can be taken in a number of ways. What are some of those ways? What classes will fulfill that requirement?
So there's Fairhaven, and this class is free on NAR, biased override, and at home with diversity.
Okay.
And all those classes are free through NAR.
Okay, great. And what NHAR has determined is that we are going to each year commit to doing at least one of those. We have free monthly education, and we'll put the website up right now where you can find that free monthly education. So stay tuned for that because that will change each year. But we will have something each year that will fulfill that requirement. And just a little bit about what happens if somebody doesn't. I mean, there are consequences, right?
There are consequences that NAR puts forth if a member does not complete a code of ethics or a fair housing component within the triennial period. They are suspended through the months of January, February, and if they have not taken it, they are made inactive come March 1st.
Okay, and there is a little bit of grace. So you get suspended, there's a little grace period, and if by the end of that grace period you haven't fulfilled the requirement, then you can lose your
You lose your membership.
entirely.
Correct.
Okay, and I think it's important to note that you should check with your local board, right, to see exactly what that grace period is and what those deadlines are and that kind.
Right, and especially for existing members. With the boards that we do here at NHAR, I do have a 90-day requirement, but each local board has something different or possibly something different, and those which should be in their bylaws.
Okay, and just to be clear, that covers existing members. What happens if I'm a new member? So I join next week.
A new member, so I can only speak for the boards that we manage here at NHAR. When a new member makes an application, I do send them a welcome letter that they need to complete a code of ethics and a fair housing component within 90 days of membership. And again, each local board has different.
Okay, so that 90 days could be different depending on your local board.
Yeah, just check with your local board.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I think that the overall message is, obviously fair housing is important. We don't want buyers and sellers to be discriminated against, and our members are out there doing their best to make sure that that doesn't happen. So this is a big piece of this. So congratulations to NAR for putting this requirement together. And again, we will continue to provide that education that fulfills that requirement going forward each year. Thanks, Stacy.
Thanks.